The overseas release of Uma Musume has been nothing short of an internet sensation. The Steam numbers look great, it's all over Twitter, or X as we call it nowadays. Streamers like Asmongold, Northern Lion, and many Hololive talents have given the game a go as well. And when I sat down to try it for myself, I was surprised by how familiar it felt to me. As in, wait a moment, I've played this game before. And by that I'm not referring to Sega's Derby Owners Club, which is a 1999 arcade game in which you race horses to race against other players. No, specifically I'm talking about the career mode and the game mechanics that you can find in it. So in Uma Musume, you pick the character that you wish to manage, and then you add support cards that you can also level up. Then throughout this arcade-style game mode, you are given a number of turns to perform a variety of actions. Mostly you raise your character's stats through various activities. Performing the same activities over and over can level up that activity. But activities also cost stamina, and at low stamina you risk failing at that activity, so you need to rest your character every once in a while. There are also various story segments depending on which character you manage, as well as support cards giving side stories. Your character is tested through certain in-game events that are completely scheduled, but you can also spend a turn willingly doing events, which in turn raises your fan count. Finally, your character's mood influences how well they will perform at these events. When the game mode ends, either because you've completed it or because you failed, your final character is given an evaluation score and is then saved onto your account. You can then use them for other game modes, usually the competitive ones. These pit your teams of produced characters against the teams from other player accounts. Also, the characters put on idol concerts, both in-game and also in real life. And all of what I've described applies to Uma Musume, but it also applies to Idolmaster Shiny Colors, which is a browser game that released in April 2018, almost 3 years prior to Uma Musume's release in February 2021. Although Uma Musume was originally scheduled to release in 2018, it ended up getting delayed. Now, the Idolmaster series first launched on cabinets in the Japanese arcades, and it was in part inspired by the aforementioned Derby Owners Club. However, in Idolmaster, the players take on the role of a producer where they manage an idol of their choice. And Shiny Colors is one of the many spin-off titles from this franchise that modernized the original race and idol concept, a return to the roots of the series of sorts. Because you see, prior to Shiny Colors, the most successful game in the franchise at that time was Cinderella Girls' Starlight Stage, a rhythm game also released as a gacha mobile game. Other internationally released games like Project Sekai and Bang Dream borrow quite heavily from Starlight Stage, with choreographed 3D performances in the background as the player furiously tries to hit those notes according to the beats of the music. And of course we've seen this from Guitar Hero back in 2005, but Idolmaster Cinderella Girls' Starlight Stage was the first majorly successful spin on this rhythm game genre on mobile platforms specifically, at least in Japan. Despite these other gacha games borrowing from Idolmaster and enjoying successful international releases, Idolmaster remains primarily a Japan-only franchise. The success of similar games makes it look like that Idolmaster wasted opportunities by keeping the games Japan exclusive. And of course there are costs to localizing games internationally, and there are risks regarding reception from foreign audiences due to the cultural differences. And yet, I would also wager that the concept of managing an idol would be less strange to the internet compared to hanging out with virtual singers or horse racing personified as anime girls. But then again, Uma Musume going viral can also be partly attributed to people's sheer bewilderment of the game's premise. But it's well made, the gameplay was already a proven formula years before it actually released, and the music is enjoyable too.